In this video, we are going to showcase a prototype version of the P2P on-ramp web app. So it consists of a single-page web application. Okay, to the right, we see the console open, but the application is just the part on the left. We see 4 sections in the web app. The first section is just a web selector. The second section is for the seller, and the fourth section is for the buyer. So let us assume that the seller is going to sell cryptocurrency, in particular ADA, and is going to receive a fiat money. Let us assume US dollars. The first 2 fields represent, in this prototype version, the personal information of the seller in relation with his traditional bank account. Of course, in practice, there would be more fields. The fourth and last section is for the buyer, who is going to buy the ADA, the cryptocurrency, and is going to deposit in the traditional bank system, the fiat. The third section in the middle is just to see which are the available orders. So there can be several, of course, several people interacting with this application, and the person that is interacting will just use the section that is relevant for him or her, right? So if I am the seller, I'm just going to use the first 3 panels. And if I am the buyer, I'm going to use, of course, the first panel to select my wallet and the third and fourth panels. Okay, so we are going to use just one seller. His name is Scott, because that's the name of the wallet. Let us assume that Scott has a bank account that whose account number is this string. And okay, let's suppose that Scott wants, in this particular account, to sell for 14 ADA for a price of 23 US dollars, just for an example. Now, he needs to commit that he really wants to post this sell order to the platform. So to commit to a sell offer, he will press this first button. And then he will need to sign this message. The message is just the question: are you really sure that you want to commit to your data to the sell order? And the purpose of this, of signing this message, is that the platform needs to retrieve the public key of the seller. So signing this message allows the platform to retrieve that public key. So the seller enters the password. And yeah, so there's no transaction involved here. It's just for generating the datum that is going to be posted on chain. By the way, on the console, you can see a representation of the datum. Now that the datum has been constructed with the public key of the seller, the sell order is ready to be sent on chain. So we need to click on the submit transaction button. And again, the seller needs to sign, in this case, not a message, but a transaction. And that's that. The transaction has been submitted, and we will need to be patient and wait a few seconds for the transaction to go through and be posted on chain. So after a few seconds, the transaction has gone through, and we can actually see here the transaction ID. Let's just double check that it is actually there. Let us wait a few more seconds. And yeah, it is here, it has been detected. And what has happened is that some funds have left the seller's wallet, 14 ADA to be precise, and have been deposited to a smart contract, the smart contract of the P2P on-ramp platform. there's some datum attached to this UTXO, and you can see the information associated with this sell order on the datum. Let's return to the application. In the same fashion, let us assume that other sellers will post orders, but before doing that, let's press this button on the third panel, and let's see what are the available orders. In this case, we have just started, and there's just one sell order, and this is the order we have just posted. Okay, but okay, let's repeat the process 2 more times. Perfect. Apparently, we have now 3 orders. Yes, you can see those 3 orders here. Well, the seller has been the same because I have used the same wallet, but I have played with different bank accounts. And now this panel queries from on-chain data the actual value amount for the ADA sold and the price that is on the datum on chain. So yeah, for convenience, the platform also shows you this last column where you can see the ADA USD exchange rate. So if I want to buy the most amount of ADA, probably I'll go for the second order. So if I'm a buyer, and maybe the second order brings me the most amount of ADA, but it's not the best exchange rate. Maybe if I want the best exchange rate, I will go for the third sell order. So now let's play the role of the buyer. It's going to be again the same wallet, but yeah, it can be any wallet. And the buyer needs to select some order. Let's select the one with the lowest exchange rate, and that's going to be the third order. So I'm just going to put here the corresponding number of the order I want to buy. And here it says press sign transaction to commit to this order. So this is a transaction the buyer needs to sign. Okay, and let's wait a few seconds for the transaction to go through. The purpose of the transaction we have just submitted is to update the datum with the public hash of the buyer and also add a time lock with a grace period for the buyer to deposit the fiat. Okay, so the transaction is on chain, and we can press again the available sell orders button. And you see that the third order has been highlighted. This means that there's now a promise for a buyer to actually buy this sell offer. Under the hood, what has happened is that the datum has been updated with the information, the pub key hash of the buyer. And now there can happen various things. Maybe the buyer can forget about the whole thing, and after a grace period, which for this prototype version is 10 minutes, the seller can just cancel the order if nothing happened, right? Because yeah, the buyer really didn't go through and deposit the fiat. But yeah, so the other thing that can happen is that in this grace period, that of course in practice would be maybe an hour or several hours, but here it's just going to be 10 minutes. Within this grace period, the buyer can actually go and deposit the fiat, and this will be verified by the platform. and then he can claim the crypto. So in this case, I'm going to press as a buyer this button, claim crypto, without actually depositing anything to see what happens. And yeah, so the transaction has not gone through because the P2P on-ramp platform has not been able to verify that actually I made the deposit, right? So for that, to go through the verification, I need to press this button. And here, of course, this is just a demo. Nothing really is going to happen because these are fictitious bank accounts, but in practice, there would be a process for the verification um, that this actually happened on the real bank account. Uh, what will happen is that the platform will sign the hash of the account data related with a fiat deposit, right? So there's going to be some signing when I press this button. Uh, and you can see on the right hand side that there is a signature associated with this verification. Okay, now that the fiat deposit has been supposedly verified, now the buyer can actually claim the crypto. So this last transaction is actually the buyer retrieving the crypto from the smart contract. Let's wait a few seconds for the transaction to go through. Yeah, so the transaction has gone through, and yeah, you can check that the the transaction is here and that the funds have finally been collected by the buyer. So they have arrived to this wallet, which is the wallet of the buyer in this case, and they have left the smart contract here. Okay, let's go through a last example. So let us assume that another buyer is going to commit to order number 2. Before doing that, actually, let's just refresh this list. And you see that there are only 2 orders remaining in the list because the third order is still in the database. It's not shown here because it is a completed order. So here, this table only shows the uncompleted orders. And so let's choose order number 2. And let's, as a buyer, let's commit to this order. Okay, so the datum has been updated with the buyer's commit, but let's just assume that the buyer forgets about it and doesn't do anything, doesn't actually go through with the fiat deposit. Uh, and well, within the grace period, the seller can't do anything. Let's try to do something. Let's try to actually, well, let's refresh first the table. The second order has been highlighted because it is in process of being bought. And within the grace period, which is, as I said before, 10 minutes in this case, the seller is going to try to cancel and reclaim the funds. And well, nothing happens because, I mean, the grace period has not elapsed. So let's wait. In my clock, I have this time. Let's wait 10 minutes and see if the seller can reclaim the funds. So 10 minutes have elapsed, I think. Let's try again to cancel this order, which I repeat was not attended by the prospective buyer. Uh, and yeah, now it can go through. And after waiting patiently for some seconds, we see that the order has been posted, the transaction has been posted on chain. And if we refresh the table, we see that that second order has disappeared. Yeah, so that's the demo. We have shown how to post sell orders, how prospective buyers can commit and then actually go through buying the crypto and depositing the fiat, and how after the grace period has elapsed, the seller can reclaim the funds if the buyer doesn't actually go through with the order, with the buying of the order. Okay, so that's it. That's the demo. I hope that this has been illustrative, and now you can interact and experiment with the app yourself. Thank you.